I have some thoughts on redshirting, and I don't know if I'm alone here. Redshirting is when you decide to hold your child back from starting kindergarten for whatever reason it might be: social, behavioral, emotional, physical. People have decided to hold their kids back from kindergarten so that way they can start when they are more ready to tackle the public school system. And in theory, I agree with that idea. And historically, I think we used to see people doing this when their kids were born, say, like in July or August. Now we're seeing people do this for kids born in April, May, June. I personally have a May baby, 2 June babies, and a November baby. So I have 1 cutoff baby. She won't start school until she's almost 6 years old. And so it's kind of like redshirting, but accidental. And my thing with redshirting is that it is pitched to parents as the right thing to do for your child if they're close to the cutoff, because it gives them the best advantage. They're going to do the best, and there's been research done on this, that kids who start at a later age do better. And that makes sense because they're older, but also for many other reasons. But another common reason people do it is for sports. This is the one that gets me. People will hold their kids back so that way they're the older kid, the bigger kid, and will do better and excel in sports, which that one I don't love. But the thing that I'm trying to grapple with is the privilege that many families must have in order to do that, right? Because public school is typically when most families are able to stop paying for full-time childcare. And childcare is incredibly expensive. I know for me that if I had redshirted each of my kids who are in that May, June area, that would have cost me $60,000, because on average in my state, it's $20,000 a year per one kid in childcare. And so being able to hold your kid back comes with privilege. You have the option to keep them home with you or to put them into childcare. Not every family has that. And so I really wish there were other ways to support families who feel like they might benefit from redshirting their child but don't have the financial access to do so. I think there's this whole other conversation, which is like redshirting for the wrong reasons, like sports. But redshirting for social, emotional, behavioral, academic, whatever reasons makes total sense to me. But I'm also wondering kind of where we draw the line. Like, is it kids born in May? Is it kids born in June? Is it kids that just need to be held back? And if they do get held back, what does that look like? What supports are there for families? How do we kind of qualify this decision? How do we make this decision together so that way we are providing our kids the best opportunities possible? I did not redshirt my June kids. They all went on time and they are all meeting average benchmarks, and it's totally fine. I also had this weird tricky thing where they're born year after year. So if I held him back, I'd have to hold her back. But she was like, my second child was like ready for kindergarten when she was 3. Like, she was ready. And oftentimes people say like, hold boys back. Boys need to be held back. If I held him back, he'd be in the same grade as his sister. And because I wasn't going to hold her back. And the interesting thing was, I had this in my grade. I had siblings, a boy and a girl, and the boy had been held back and his sister was in that grade. And he was made fun of up until the day we graduated high school for being in the same grade as his younger sister. And honestly, I couldn't stop thinking about that when we were thinking about the options for our son. And luckily, our school system is incredibly supportive and he has what he needs and he's thriving, like loves school and is doing so well. But I grappled with it. And then I grappled with the cost, because paying $20,000 a year for him to stay home an extra year seemed daunting to me. And so I'm just interested, did you redshirt? Why? Did you not redshirt? Why? What do you think about redshirting?